As you probably have guessed, I am not going to be doing my introduction anymore until the Giants win, because the way things are going is absolutely driving me nuts. The Giants really could trade a few of their relievers right now. This may seem counterintuitive, as I've talked before about whether or not they need a couple of extra arms for their bullpen. I didn't come up with that idea, no, I heard it from others, but I mentioned it here on Giants Baseball 101. Of course, when we talk about those things, we hopefully mean good performing relievers. The difference is in the performance. And if you cannot pitch out of jams, if you cannot pitch well with runners on base and in scoring position, even to the game's best hitters, chances are you are not helping the team. That seems to be the case with the Giants. And you might ask, well, hey, the bullpen has been bad, but the rotation, we've seen some bad starts too. Why aren't you talking about the Giants being able to trade a couple of their starters? Well, I am not at all saying that neither Alex Wood nor Alex Cobb would qualify possibly as a trade. I'm not saying they would not, I'm not saying that either Alex Wood or Alex Cobb would not qualify as a potential trade chip. But I mention the bullpen, I mention these relievers for the Giants because what they are doing is especially hideous. It's crazy. It is the third straight game. Well, not straight, but yesterday was a loss too. It's the third game in this series against the Dodgers that the bullpen could not pitch out of a jam. And you say, well, this is a fairly small sample. You're talking about these relievers, you're blaming them, and today, by the way, who really lost the game for the Giants? It was Tyler Rogers. He came in the seventh with one on second base and one out. And the Giants needed him to pitch out of the jam. That was his job coming in from the bullpen this particular time in a tied game at 4-4. After Darren Ruff had hit, I think it was the sixth inning, the 2-run home run to tie the game at 4. That was Tyler Rogers' job in the seventh inning to hold the tie with a runner on second and keep him from scoring as Jake Lamb came to the plate. The Dodgers have all the good hitters. That's all the more reason why I believe this sample we're seeing is a pretty good indication of the way things are, at least right now. A small sample, absolutely. You say, okay, you can't blame pitchers for just this one outing. No, I understand that, but this is particularly driving me up the wall because even though it happened to a different reliever each time, it happened 3 times in this series that the Giants lost because they could not get out of a jam. And did the offense come back in the 9th inning? No, they did not. None of the times. They could not muster up a comeback in the 9th inning. And sometimes it's hard to expect them to when it really does feel to you like the game is already lost and thrown away, like the chance to save it was a bit before. So it was Harleen Garcia on Thursday with 2 outs in the 8th inning. It was Sam Long on Friday with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And today, it was Tyler Rogers. He only had 1 out. We will grant him that, but he gave up a quick double to Jake Lamb to give the Dodgers the lead 5-4. And he came in there because the Giants needed to get out of the jam, but he couldn't pitch out of it. He has been a great reliever for the Giants this year and the last, and okay, in 2020 he pitched great in 2019 during the little over a month that he had in the big leagues that year. So all in all, he's a good pitcher, but he was not good today when the Giants needed him to, and this is a trend that their bullpen is having, not being able to pitch out of jams. Are you any benefit to the team when you are not able to pitch out of jams? And of course, to answer this question, we have to look at it quantitatively, look at the bullpen as a whole, instead of just posing this question to any individual pitcher. Chances are that as a bullpen, you are not benefit to the team if you're not able to pitch out of jams and save late inning tied games. That is where the problem lies. That's the problem right here. So small sample, yes, but it was a sample pitching against a team that has a lot of good hitters. We are talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers here. They've got a lot of good hitters. What baseball fan doesn't know that? Well, only a fan who doesn't know a whole lot about the Dodgers, or else they don't really care what the Dodgers have at their core. But what fan that knows a whole lot about the Dodgers doesn't know they have a group of very good hitters? Well, essentially none. So that's why this sample size is kind of significant. Because if you're talking about a team with above average good hitters that are going to be hitting in game situations, what do you think we say about that? Do we say, these are great hitters, and it's, they just put together some great hitting, and doesn't mean that the bullpen, there's any problem with it? Is that what we say? No, we say, if you can't get the game's best hitters out, there's a problem. And sometimes I think the very best sample sizes for bullpen evaluation come when they are facing the game's best hitters. Now, I'm not saying that these three hitters for the Dodgers, who I specifically remember doing the damage, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, and Jake Lamb, are the three best in the league. It would be very arbitrary to say that, so I'm not going to even try it here. But I am saying that they are good, and they've just been, they're Dodgers now. These are all good hitters, and Betts and Bellinger are real superstars. I do not have a whole lot of experience with Lamb's track record, so I'm not saying that he isn't. I just don't really want to talk where I don't know. But that is the situation. So, your relievers pitching in runners in scoring position jams against, we're gonna go this far of a step and say the game's best hitters. That, I think, is one of the very best sample sizes, because it's what you've got to do. And the Giants have not been able to do it. It's absolutely sickening, and it is driving us up the wall. I hope I speak for all of us. So, the trade deadline, let's look at that. Could the Giants trade a couple of relievers? Well, if you talk about someone like Jarlin Garcia, I don't want to put any unnecessary blame on him, because he has pitched well sometimes for the Giants this year, but would you say maybe he hasn't really shown the ability to deliver in extra inning situations? We've talked about that before, even though those are fairly rare. And he had 2 outs against the Dodgers, obviously couldn't get Betts out, although he was a right-handed hitter. Is he someone the Giants just couldn't do without? Well, I don't think so. So, the Giants do have I think they can just do whatever's in their best interest here about trading relievers. Now, here's how this thing works. You might think, well, we're just depleting the bullpen more. What, are we going to have to call up the AAA team? No, that's not essentially what I'm saying. What they can do, they have prospect pitchers in AAA and AA, and certainly below that. They have prospects that they can trade. They add a lot of market value during times like these. The trade deadline, by the way, is August 2nd. I didn't realize that till today. I thought it was going to be July 31st. Here's what they do in an ideal world. They trade from the list of prospects that they have now. They get whatever they're going to get. Whatever they're going to get this trade deadline, I think it's gotta be Juan Soto. If they want to trade enough to get him, maybe plus an elite reliever, that's one thing. Then, could they also make a move to get prospects right back into their system? That may be where trading a couple of the relievers that they currently already have, or, as I mentioned, either Alex Wood or Alex Cobb. Well, excuse me. Wood and Cobb, I believe, are both on 1-year deals. Cobb might be on a 2-year deal, actually. But that's why I'm talking about in their core group of relievers, if at this point they want to trade a couple of them. However, to decide that now would be way too hasty, because this is a small sample, even though I think it is one of the best samples you could get. Against the league's best hitters, you do well or you're not benefiting the team. But there's more time until the trade deadline. Should these relievers get another chance? Yeah, we got to see more. If they continue to not be able to pitch out of jams, they could be the ones to be traded to actually get more prospects this year, depending on how many years they would have on their contract. That's what the Giants could use to get more prospects. They could simultaneously trade from the list of prospects they already have to get whatever they are going to get. I think it's got to be Juan Soto, or whether it's a couple of better be really good relievers, and better be, if they're getting relievers, better be relievers who have a good track record of pitching in the clutch. Again, we don't rule out giving the bullpen that the Giants have more chances, because these have been good pitchers at times. Anyway, that's the situation, and the Giants got swept by the Dodgers in 4 games. They couldn't win a single game, so that is sickening, absolutely. I wonder what the relative importance is of games against the Dodgers just based on the Dodgers being a great team. We're not chasing down the division anymore. That's done. Chasing a wild card spot. But the Dodgers are still a great team, and you still get all tensed up when the Giants are about to play them. And this time, they didn't disappoint your being tensed up. It's just a really bad situation, what happened today and every day since the All-Star break. The Giants really need to view, I think, every player who does not perform, whether it's pitching out of jams or starting, hitting, whatever. They need to view every player who both doesn't perform until the August 2nd trade deadline and also does not have a track record this year good enough to offset that as a potential trade chip. Other than that, though, we are buying, not selling. What I'm a little bit concerned about, I saw on sfgiants.com, that's their official website, what one of the articles said was that with the trade, something like with the trade deadline approaching, things seem to be sliding in the wrong direction. I hope that that is not implying that the Giants could take this losing skid as a signal to do anything less than buy at the trade deadline. I don't know what that's saying. It's probably just mentioning the discouragement that the Giants are no doubt feeling right now. But I hope that that's no indication that the Giants could take a losing skid as a signal to do anything besides buy at the trade deadline. No, it's got to motivate them to do it more because they need it. A year like this is one that can't go to waste. It's a critical one. The Giants still have their winning record. We'll see if playing a team other than the Dodgers does any good for them. But it's got to change right now. There are specific things that are going wrong. And those things, and it's about hard contact too. Today was hard contact. Jake Lamb hit a ground rule double off of Tyler Rogers. That's what's going wrong. That's why the Giants are losing in the competition. So I can't say that I'm not just completely driven crazy right now. The Giants are going to need help fast, and hopefully their front office knows how to get it. Thank you for watching. These videos are kind of long, almost 15 minutes now, because there's just so much to say. Please email me if you would like to say anything, GabrielVaughn89@gmail.com. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not. Thank you so much, everybody who has already subscribed, and I'll see you next time.